Yeah, it's time to make another poorly quote-unquote animated video about some random personal garbage. I don't know. It is what it is. Since I've not done nothing for 3 days except for writing the script, so I'm feeling kind of guilty about not doing it. Okay, so obviously COVID since the last video has made a huge impact on students worldwide. You can't go to school, so online school has started, and let's just say it has made a huge number of revelations for me. For one thing, staying at home, I have realized how much I worry about random stuff and how much I hate myself, man. Usually in school there are other people, and I can draw less attention to myself. But now I just have to sit with my stupid self and descend into darkness as all tiny mistakes become proof of how trash I am and how terrible I am of a person who does everything. Yeah, I really haven't been doing very well at home, but staying at home has also got me thinking a lot just in general about how the nature of school has changed, and that's what we're going to be talking about today. Okay, let's see. So, firstly, everyone in school is demotivated beyond comprehension. Usually you're in a classroom and you're sitting and working, but now you're just piling up in this uncomfortable lump in your chair, perpetually staring into the screen in front of you, where the teacher moans their instructions to you in the Zoom call or whatever they use. And yes, you could argue that this demotivation is because there is no accountability in place. And that is partially true. You no longer have anybody watching over your shoulder to see that you are working. But the other part is that there is just no stimuli to work with. You are stuck in the same room every day doing the same things, and you become numb to it all. Now, of course, some people are amazing and can just treat online school like a normal school, and they still stay driven, which is an elusive power that I wish I could have. I, however, am just dead. It's not even because I'm stuck in my house. I mean, I love staying at home, but as a probably extrovert who doesn't have any social skills, I am no longer able to gain energy from others. I'm just stuck watching the feeble apathy of all the students and teachers as they churn through the day. It's just the worst situation. You see, that's another thing. The teachers are just absolutely pathetic, man. Normally, they actually have to interact with the students and help them with any troubles. But now, they just have to set up the call in a few clicks, wait for everyone to join, announce the instructions for the lesson, and then they just mute themselves for the remaining time. They might not even have to make a call, they just have to post up the instructions wherever, and then they just slump back into their armchair until the next period, not taking any responsibility of the students. Now, obviously, the nice teachers are going to stick with you along the way and actually be a teacher, but for the most part, there is no incentive to do that anymore. The teachers are just able to abandon the students completely. Something else that I've noticed is how stupid school is in terms of work-life balance. Usually in a standard job, you work 9 to 5 and then you go home, and then you have free time for about 3 or 4 hours before going to sleep. And then, of course, there are the weekends and stuff. But with school, you go from 9 to 3, and then you go home and then do whatever homework and assignments your teachers have piled up onto you for the rest of the day. So, to make up for this constant work, instead you have 2-week-long holidays where you do absolutely nothing because it's so long and it's really boring, and it doesn't actually bring any value to you because it's just a big pause. There's no actual balance. They just use holidays to make up for it somehow. I don't know. Now, in normal school, you at least have the division between being at school and interacting with others while working, and then being alone while doing homework at home. But now there's absolutely no divide. Whether it's school time or not, either way, you are going to be sitting at home alone and grinding, especially since the teacher has probably abandoned the students. Even worse, our school tried to ban homework from being given out during online school. So, you know what the teachers did? They just gave out a ridiculous amount of classwork so that you would have to complete it during your own time, since it's not possible to complete it in class because it's so much. Technically it's all classwork, right? You're just so slow. Wow. Now the only distinction between school and home is the fact that you're doing classwork versus homework. That's gone. Everything is now the same. How do teachers even think this is moral? How do they even think up of this? I don't know. I guess some people just don't have a conscience. They can, go murder someone and just... This has kind of led to me realizing how absolutely exhausted I am from school in the holidays, doing all this work non-stop for a prolonged period of time. You may have noticed that my last 2 videos were kind of bad, like they were just crap. And it's because I've given myself a break because of all this garbage. It's also made me realize how guilty and anxious I feel about not doing this work even in the holidays. I gotta be hustling, otherwise I'm a bad person or something like that. While that mindset is good, though not healthy, for school and work, it's bad for basically everything else. Usually I would feel anxious and it would just be this ambient feeling that I have, but I just brush it off since I'm like, oh, I'm probably just anxious because of school and worrying about not performing well enough. But then the holidays come where I don't have to do anything, and the feeling is still there. Oh no, what am I going to do now? I might actually have anxiety, and should probably get help, but to be honest, probably nobody's doing well at this point and they will just brush it off as normal. I don't know, man. So, you would think that staying at home would be heaven for people who don't like to socially interact, right? Well, nope. The damn Zoom meetings, man. The damn Zoom meetings. Our school also uses Microsoft Teams as well, so basically we have to use 2 thick-ass proprietary programs on our computers just to do meetings, which is kind of ridiculous. But basically, they're really annoying. The teachers are frequently late, and once they do come in, they ask you to say hi, which is very bad, code red, because then you have to reveal your voice, and that's not good. And then some of them force you to turn on your camera, which is... like, this is literally all of my insecurities in one go, and I have to do it on the spot. It's just... But Alex, I thought you were an extrovert. What do you mean you can't? Well, yes, but I am an extrovert who does not have any self-confidence or social skills. Yes, they do exist. So, I'm cursed to not be able to obtain the thing that I need the most. Yeah. Also, the software. Zoom. Why would you ever use this? Why did it even get popular? It's a buggy and insecure mess of spyware that just happened to come out at a time when people needed video conference software. Like, it's not even good, yet every day we have to use it just to attend class. But it's just such a jank piece of software. And of course, with the tangents, this has got me thinking about technology in general. Nowadays, big tech companies control our online lives pretty much completely. You're probably watching this video using one of their products right now. These companies will collect your data at every opportunity they get, and share this data with each other to build a clear picture of every single one of you and your traits, and use that to advertise to you or sell the data for money. It's the inescapable and ever-present network of data collection. Alex, why is this even relevant? I'll get to this later. You can technically avoid this data collection by not using their products. For example, you could stop using the Google search engine and YouTube, or stop using some of the social media platforms, but in general, this is just very hard to avoid, and privacy is dead. Nevertheless, many try their best to leave as little info to these companies as possible. Now, let's look back to the government schools, which literally rely on many services from these big tech companies for their education. They rely on email services from Google, software from Adobe, Microsoft, and Google again, and with online school, Microsoft and Zoom for their conference software. That is a lot of proprietary software for students to have to use to attend a government school. Well, keep in mind that I'm situated in Australia, so your experience may vary depending on where you live. But this also means that as a child, unless you are homeschooled or go to a private school or just some kind of alternative education, you are coerced into this system that collects your data. Keep in mind that this is children's data being collected. Now, if that's not weird, then I don't know what is. Forcing hundreds of thousands of minors' data to be collected by private companies that will use it to advertise for them and also sell that data to other people for profit. Furthermore, now that online school is in place, they are now collecting all of the imagery and audio of these minors, video and audio from the, video conferencing stuff, and that is extremely creepy, and I try to avoid it at all costs, that is, without getting scolded at by the teachers, because they force you to turn your camera on and everything, which is kind of ridiculous. Now, I don't really understand the legal side of this. Maybe there are laws in place to prevent this, and therefore they won't collect data. But I'm honestly not sure if this would have any effect. I mean, the government relies so much on these big tech companies' services for their own systems anyway, so these companies can basically be above the law. And even if they couldn't, these children have already been forced into the ecosystem of these products. So when they grow up to become actual adults, guess what products and services they're going to be using? That's right, the exact same ones. Only this time, it's perfectly legal to be collecting their information. In general, I just think that any form of government affiliation with large private companies is very sketchy, and particularly in this instance, it just is wrong. But, I don't know, modern society has deemed it normal for Google to be controlling the world at this point, so they probably wouldn't care. Okay, anyways, I have no idea why I talked about that for so long, but I guess it was just a prevalent topic in my life now that I'm noticing it more and more. So, overall, online school has been very janky and terrible for me, but I guess that's all I want to talk about for now, so see you guys until the next video, which will probably be in like 3 months' time because school is going to start again, which is very annoying, so I won't be able to post anything. Okay, bye!